Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Painted Dog TV and the Rietspruit Game Reserve. My name is Gareth Poole, and on camera this afternoon we have the wonderful Ashley with us. Very, very excited, guys, because of course this afternoon is our first big game tracking session on safari. Very excited about it. We are going to be focusing on the signs of big game and obviously hoping to try find said big game. It's not to say that we won't look at the tracks and signs of any of the smaller animals out here. Of course, it is very often the larger game, the predators that we search for on each of these exciting painted dog safaris. And just heading out now this afternoon. We've just left camp. We are going to head past all of the nearby waterholes to see if we can find any signs of any of the large animals that occur here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. In particular, lion, elephant, leopard, rhino. That's what I'm hoping to find signs of. But like I say, everybody, I will have a look to see if we don't find any other smaller tracks of interest. And I'm just looking at the road now. Looks like there are some white rhino tracks here. Some beautiful white rhino tracks. They look pretty fresh as well, everybody. Looks like they are from some time today. Amazing how big these animals are and how massive their footprints are. So much larger than the black rhino. And I did actually spot some black rhino tracks earlier today. This morning I was out on a safari as well and saw some black rhino tracks a bit further up ahead. Stop and have a look at. But awesome to see. It looks like a white rhino bull. You clearly see are the beautiful toe prints here. So that's the left toe, the front or middle toe, and then the right toe. And then towards the heel of a white rhino's track, almost like a W shape that is formed at the bottom of their heel. It's actually in a lot of ways quite similar to my handprint, where there's this little indentation here. Now black rhino is usually quite different. It'll be more rounded towards the back end here, more flat. Sort of like that sort of a shape. And of course the track is quite a lot smaller as well. So the direction is north. This white rhino is heading straight towards the waterholes that I've just spoken about. And we'll follow the tracks as best as we can along the road here and see which way they go. We, of course, when we are live, cannot take you with us into the bush on foot. We have to stay pretty close to the jackal so that we stay connected to our Wi-Fi and continue to transmit the awesome pictures of this amazing place out here. So we'll have to track and find as best as we can without leaving the vehicle all that much. I might at times jump off and just take a short walk to try and get a better direction, leaving you with Ashley on the vehicle.
My guess is they wouldn't have moved far from there. I'll make my way out and make it up there and get there later.
Birdman for Gareth.
Standing by.
Birdman, what's going to be your route, your general route this afternoon?
I'm going down to and then I'll sort of maybe go to Kuru Krip, Ratway, and then down to the bottom and then make my way up the fence side later.
Okay, copy, thanks. Please let me know if you find any fresh signs of elephant or rhino. I'm going to do Lemundering Reservoir and Kudu Krip, Leopard Dam. Just busy chatting to one of my friends, Simon, on the radio, who's also heading into the south of the reserve this afternoon, just asking him to let us know if he does see any tracks he thinks are fresh. Will obviously help us quite a bit in speeding up the process. Now we've got a split in the road here, and we just want to quickly try figure out which way this rhino has gone. Looks like he went down there. Yes, indeed, and might have even left the road. Just have a quick look here. Now, Ashley asked me a question just as we started this big game tracking safari this afternoon. Is it more difficult to track a rhino as a pride of lions? And the honest truth is yes, it actually is more difficult. You'd think with an animal with tracks that size that it would be easy. But once a rhino stops following a road like this one is doing currently and goes to start grazing, they actually do a lot of circling while they graze. So you literally, if you are tracking a rhino in the bush, sometimes you'll end up doing circles like this, following the rhino because of its grazing pattern, the way that it moves while it grazes. So unless they are following a true direction, following the scent maybe of another rhino, or in a hurry to get to water because they're thirsty, it can end up being quite difficult tracking any rhino, black or white, more so the white rhino because they graze. It just went off slightly, may have gone to graze a little bit on the grass there, and then has returned to the road here. Now Matty this morning, when he woke up early making his coffee at 5:30 this morning, saw a big white rhino bull right outside the camp, and I reckon literally like right next to the washing line outside the camp. I reckon this is the same bull that Matt saw earlier this morning. So you probably find this rhino moved along here sort of mid-morning toward lunchtime, and a rhino bull can actually cover ground pretty quickly, so he might be some distance from where we are now already. Let's quickly see who is with us here on the private channel, our pack members. Good afternoon, Mary, Carol, Rosemary and Wide-Eyed. Lovely to have you with us, everybody. And of course, lovely to have all those YouTube channel. Very excited to be out here tracking big game with you all. If you look up ahead here, everyone, you'll very easily see the one on the road here. Now, none of this dung is particularly fresh. It's been sitting here for near on a week already. But this rhino bull that we're tracking definitely walked along here and would have very likely come and had a good sniff here just to see if any of this dung is fresh. White rhino bulls are very, very territorial, so they take a keen interest in any other rhino that are moving through their territory. And so he would have come along here just to see if any of this was fresh. He would have quickly realized that it isn't, but if it is fresh, what he'll do is he'll actually then seek out those other rhino, and he'll seek out other male rhino to force them out of his territory, and he'll obviously seek out the female rhino in order to try and mate with those females. Now, if you have a close look at this dung, you'll see it's very fine blades of grass, neatly chopped up. They have a pretty good digestive system. the rhino. They're hindgut fermenters, so they ferment everything that they eat, and they get all of the cellulose out of this grass before it obviously then gets deposited in the dung down here. But this, as you can imagine, is an incredible fertilizer. And you often find a lot of insects will feed on it as well, particularly termites often crawl up into this rhino dung. Now, if you were looking at a black rhino's dung, what you would immediately notice are little branches, little twigs inside the dung, usually cut off at a 45-degree angle. Because, of course, the black rhino are browsers. They feed on the branches of trees, predominantly. They do feed on succulents as well. But white rhino are strictly grazers. They're just grass eaters. So very, very different. And then the only other animal you could potentially confuse this with would be elephant. And elephant are mixed feeders, so they feed on a variety of vegetation. A lot of grass for certain, but certainly a lot of trees, and rather the bark of trees, the twigs of trees, the leaves of trees. They eat fruit, they eat bulbs, tubers. They have a massive variety in their diet, and so you would see lots of variety in the dung, of course, but this is purely grass. So definitely a white rhino. Interesting set of or sequence of tracks here. Oh dear, I can't get out, sorry, just go back. So you can clearly see the white rhino's tracks here again, everybody. But what's interesting to note is this particular track here. So you can see this very distinctive line, this drag in the sand here. That is the white rhino's, or the white rhino bull's bottom lip, his lips. He very often will drag his lips on the sand whilst he walks, and you can see that drag continues all the way through here, where he's dragged his lip along the ground here. Amazing to see that. Now, they do that mainly because, first of all, their heads are so heavy, so they almost need to drop their heads onto the sand. But it's also a way for them to stick their nostrils directly above the soil and potentially follow the scent of any other rhino that were nearby. And also a way of marking territory too. It's awesome to see that lip drag on the sand like that. Tracks still going along the road here, so still heading towards two little water holes which are just up ahead here, the Munduring Krip and the little reservoir. Good afternoon, Willow. Lovely to have you with us. Actually, just check your phone. Matt's asking you to check your... It's fine, just turn it on and just check it. He wants to just check something with you. Still got tracks of this white rhino on the road here, everybody. So you can imagine we've covered quite a distance now. And this rhino is still continuing along the road. He's hardly left the road at all. So quite clearly on a mission. Didn't really stop much to graze. He probably wanted to go and drink. Ashley's just spotted an elephant, apparently. Ah, yes, indeed. That is an elephant. Look at that. Oh my God, that is so cool. I'm too busy looking at rhino tracks and completely missed this elephant feeding on the right-hand side here. Love it when that happens. How cool is that, everybody? This is one of the cows in the herd that we've got here. Oh, and I can just now hear stomach rumbling off to our right behind this cow that we're trying to show you here. So one of the other elephants busy communicating. What a treat. What a luck. Wasn't even expecting to find these elephants here. Apologies for my head popping into picture there every now and then, guys. I'm bending down as far as I can. Feeding on something in there that looks distinctively like elephant pudding. That's exactly what it is. A creeper that grows abundantly across the Rietspruit Game Reserve. Just now see a second elephant beyond this cow that we were initially watching. Oh, there's that amazing sound again. The stomach rumbling of one of the other elephants. Definitely one of my favourite sounds. This is what I love about the bush. You know, you're out here looking for one thing, you've got tracks of one thing, and then all of a sudden you'll bump into something entirely different. I know it's not the best picture from where we are here, everybody. It's quite thick in there. But what I am going to try and do is just go a bit more forward and see if there are any other different angles. And you never know, there might be other elephants that are visible a bit further up ahead. Yeah, I've located the elephants. They're on Seskantpad site, just south of Lowveld West. Seskantpad site, a couple hundred meters south of Lowveld West, and they are feeding in the block east of Seskantpad site.
I'm at the reservoir, so I'm about 3 or 4 minutes out.
Copy.
Is that the jumbo?
Yeah, that's affirmative. The herd. I don't know if the bulls are here. I've just got visual of 2 members of the herd for now.
Thank you. Some balls in here.
Copy that. So I've just heard from Simon, everybody, who's joining us here in the sighting, that he can see more of the elephants up here. I wonder if it's not maybe the same two that we were looking at, just from a different angle. Now what I am hoping is that they might go and drink at the reservoir here. We're very close to this little water hole. Don't want to lose sight of our rhino tracks. Looks like he went down there to Lamundering to have a drink. Ah, here we go. There's a perfect little gap. Oh, here's the young one. Here's our little calf. Look at that, guys. Oh my word, what a treat. So special. Good afternoon, Elsa, Rosemary and Atropa. Yes, tracking is so exciting and certainly fascinating, very interesting aspect that I absolutely love. But what a treat just bumping into the elephants here. The young one here coming to have a closer look. This young bull is getting braver and braver. Interesting, if you have a look at that cow that's feeding behind the calf here, you'll notice a large secretion coming from her temporal glands. Look at this little thing. He's such a show-off. This is just unbelievable. Oh my word. I have never seen him this bold before. What you're seeing here Everybody is a young bull elephant just trying to show off. You don't often find the young females coming this close to the vehicles. But these little bulls are certainly quite cocky. Now, I've been watching Mom very closely behind here, and she hasn't reacted at all with her calf coming up to the vehicle, which is fantastic. She's very calm about the whole situation, which is why I haven't moved and allowed him to get this close to us. One thing we don't want is him ever touching the vehicle. He didn't touch it. He got very close to touching it, but he didn't touch it. He's certainly having a hard time with this sickle bush that he's trying to feed on here. It's got the most horrible spines on it. Ouch. Yes, you are so big. We are so impressed by your size. Oh my God, what a moment. Unbelievable. Lekker shotput. Yeah, $50.
I'm going to double back and go and sit at the reservoir. We're obviously going to go there for a pull.
I'm going to join you there shortly. Thanks, Butch. Unbelievable how relaxed these elephants are here at the moment, buddy. There certainly have been a couple moments over the last few weeks where they've been a bit worked up, and there've been some, rushes towards vehicles. But I can assure you, most of all of that disturbed behavior wasn't because of us, wasn't because of the vehicles. It was because of the bulls that have been in must. And case in point here today, where the whole herd, including the little calf, are just so relaxed with our presence. And what an incredible moment, having that little bull come right up to the vehicle to say hello. That was unbelievable. What an absolute treat. You can clearly see Mom just browsing away there. She hasn't once turned in our direction. So she clearly doesn't find our presence and our proximity to her calf a threat at all, which is just so wonderful to see. Unbelievable moment. Good afternoon, Di and Deneen. Lovely to have you with us, ladies. How spoilt are we here with the elephants? We've been tracking rhino for the first part of the afternoon and literally bumped into the herd here next to the road. And they are putting on such a show for us today. So going back to the secretions on the cow here, the mother of that calf, you can see those dark stains, the secretions coming from the temporal glands on her head. Now, that's interesting. What could be causing her the stress, which is what usually leads to her secreting from those glands? Best guess is probably the bulls. The bulls have both been in must, I've just mentioned it now, and have been spending a lot of time with the herd, and that could be partly why she's so stressed. Right, everybody, I'm going to move around here. We're very close to the reservoir where there's some water up here, and they are slowly making their way there, these elephants. So we might get lucky and have a sighting of them drinking as well, which would also be so cool. Not that it hasn't been cool enough already. Yes, that little bull was very special. What a moment. think I heard Simon saying that he might have seen a bull up here near the reservoir. We'll have a quick look now. Oh wow, look at this, guys. One of the bulls, by the looks of things, drinking here. Oh, that is epic. Just gonna move around to the other side, everybody. Might be a good angle here to try and watch this guy drinking. There you go, you can see the water going in, everybody. Having a big drink here. So this is the younger of the two bulls, everybody, that we have here. And what you'll notice is he too has got secretions from that temporal, or the temporal glands behind the eye there. So I think he's just coming into must. When I last saw him a couple of days back, I did notice that he had some stains on the inside of his back legs as well. And what we have also noticed is that the big bull has been pushing this guy around quite a bit. He's probably had enough of that, and wisely so has moved off from that big bull for the time being, because there was quite a lot of aggression shown from the older bull, which is normal. Just going to reposition again here, everybody. I want to try and see him head on while he's drinking. great shot there. Oh, you are beautiful. So when you see elephants doing that, everybody, where they spray a bit of the water out, it's because they don't like that water. There might have been some algae or some debris in that little bit of water that they're spraying out before they drink the rest of it. Check it out, he's resting the trunk there on the ground. Look at the size of those feet. Unreal. Interesting, today I don't see any stains on the inside of his back legs. Just those secretions from the temporal glands. So he might not actually be coming into must, everybody. Maybe he's just stressed, potentially stressed from those interactions he'd had with the older bull. This is unbelievable. Interesting. So he's definitely had his drink, and now he's beelining straight back towards the herd. Now I'm going to stick around, everybody. I'd love to see what happens here and see how the herd reacts when this young bull gets closer to them. He might just sort of circumnavigate them. He might not actually go straight in. Yeah, the cows will certainly let him know that they don't want him around. And maybe that's already happened, and maybe why he's, slightly separated from the herd at the moment. Oh, now he's dust bathing. See how he's just spraying sand on his legs at the moment. What I noticed is when he walked away from the reservoir, he'd got some water on his legs, and that moisture will often attract little stingless bees, little flies, and elephants hate little insects landing on their skin. They don't like getting bothered by these little flying insects. It's one of the reasons why they'll dust bathe like that. Now he's going straight for the herd here. I see that Di's asked the question whether elephants taste through their trunks as well as their mouths. No, I don't think so. No taste buds in the trunk, only in the mouth. They obviously have fantastic sense of smell through their trunks, but in terms of taste, it all happens in their mouths. Okay, he slowed right down here, so he didn't go straight up to the herd. Looks like he's something to feed on here. What's he eating in there? Looks like the same plant that the little bull was feeding on, the sickle bush. exactly what it is. Amazing, one of the hardiest bushes out here, and they feed on it so regularly. Clearly a lot of nutritional value in the sickle bush. No. Have you?
No, I just thought he may be in here, but I saw this guy when I came down the wall, he was here.
Mm.
So I knew at least the one was here.
Yeah.
Presume the other one was nearby.
But do you remember, was it yesterday we had the big bull?
Yeah, he was over there.
So I think he's separated from him.
Well, maybe. I don't know if that mate dog came on into Easter.
Yeah, maybe.
He's sniffing it definitely.
Yeah.
And he sniffed at the one old Dentine or Ethel.
Yes.
He sniffed at her a bit. But yeah. So whether they weren't on, cycling, I don't know.
Yeah. And he's pushing through again. He's getting closer to the females. Very close now. He's probably only about 20 yards away from one of the cows here, everybody. Just going to go a little bit more forward and see if we can see any interaction in here. It's not going to be easy. It's very thick where they are now. Now, there's not always aggression when the bulls approach the cows. Sometimes it's actually a very calm interaction. I see the mom and calf are still feeding in the exact same place we left them earlier. So the bull is busy approaching everybody from in front of this cow and calf. Let's see what happens here now. I know it's quite a tough view. It's very thick in there. But at least we can see them, and I'd love to see what sort of reaction happens here. Now, obviously, having had a close look at the bull, it doesn't look like he's in must. Oh, there you go. Just moving away. Look at that, look at that. So he's being pushy. He's coming in to have a look at what these two are doing. But no aggression. Interesting. Wonderful. Look at that. Actually busy greeting one another. Busy smelling one another. Now, the reason the cow will smell the bull like that is she's busy smelling the secretions that we were just talking about. She'll very quickly be able to tell whether he is in must or not by smelling his strong odor. And I think isn't too concerned. You can see her moving off there. She's even left the little calf behind. I don't think he's in must, so she's not too worried. The bull certainly took interest there again. He's following the cow. I see that. I see that. Just going to go back and see if we can get another look at the cow and the bull here. But pretty soon I am going to move on, everybody. As wonderful as this is, we've had some incredible moments already here with the elephants, and I'd like to continue trying to track the rhino and see if there's any signs of the cats. Time sadly runs out so fast on these safaris. Fortunately though, we'll keep them coming. I can barely see them in there now. Now that is Mom. It's coming through there. Did you come down Seskant?
No, I went to, as far as Seskant, and there was nothing at the trip, and then I cut off to Kuru. And as I came here, then I came down here and I heard you say you caught them, and as I came here, the one bull was here.
Okay.
So that's, I didn't see where the other, I didn't see any sign of other bullets at Seskant.
And no fresh white rhino tracks there either?
Eh?
No fresh
There were
white?
some rhino tracks, but further near, as I came off Leadwood, there
Yeah.
you could see the lip was on the floor, and then he went off the road. You know, on the, before the junction, at the junction.
Yeah.
It goes to Seskant, and that other road it goes to, I think it's Kuru, it goes to the left there, whatever.
Yeah.
Near that intersection, then he went off the road.
Okay.
So
It might be the same.
south, so maybe he's going to Seskant for water.
Oh, that one was going south.
Yeah, he was. It looked like
I tracked a bull that came up Seskant Site here, and he turned towards Lemunderang. I'm going to go down there and quickly have a look, see where he went. But I think it was from this morning.
okay. Black rhino.
No, white.
Yeah. Okay. This one, yeah,
The black rhino was here this morning. His tracks fresh signs here just up the road here on Seskant, and then he cut east into the block.
okay, so he could go to Kuru then.
Yeah, but he...
I had the leopard yesterday.
I found her tracks, by the way. She went south over Pompat into the drainage line that feeds towards Leopard Dam. Yeah. Yeah.
So maybe she crossed.
Must.
Does she go to as far as the dam? As far as
Yeah, she does. And then from there she'll cut back towards Hayes here.
okay. She's got a good territory.
Pretty big, eh?
If she's been at Seskant, Kuru Krip, she's been here.
Yeah.
Now you say she's at dam.
Yes. No, she gets around. I see we've got the little calf that's come to join us here again, everybody. Hello, Michael. Good to have you with us. Glad you could pop in for a couple of minutes, but yes, I'm sure you'll catch up a bit later. Obviously out on our big game tracking safari this afternoon, and we were tracking a rhino before we wonderfully bumped into the elephants that are feeding and drinking close here to the big reservoir, the one we often see them drinking at. The little calf is coming towards us here now, again. Very brave, inquisitive young bull. They often are that way. They're my favourite young bulls. Here comes Mom. Lots of communicating busy happening now as well between the elephants. You can hear the stomach rumbles.
And just an update on the jumbo. You look to be heading towards the Lemunderang reservoir.
You can see Mom there now just trying to smell us. The wind is blowing over us straight towards the elephants. So just busy getting our scent. And it does look like they're going to go have a drink now at the reservoir, everybody. So I'm just going to get into position here. Just give Mom her space. Oh, you are beautiful. What a sighting. It's interesting, both of these big cows are secreting from those temporal glands. It's always a joy watching this little bull elephant try to drink out of this reservoir, everybody. He's obviously still quite short, so he has to pick the right spot in order to get his trunk over there to drink. Oh, he's come right. But what I've seen him do in the past is he'll give up on that spot and come round to the point where the cow is there on the right. A little bit easier for him to get up there where she's busy drinking. Oh man, this is amazing. Yeah, here he comes. The tip of his trunk is wet, so he did manage to get some water there. Yeah, maybe he's had enough water. Now he's feeding. Mary, Carol, I'm pretty sure when you explain to everybody, I apologize, but I was with elephants, I'm sure they'll understand. This is just so good. And a wonderful distraction from work. Little bull's coming back to the reservoir here. Interesting to see if he now goes to that point where the matriarch is. Yeah. Struggling to get in there. There you go. Oh, he's getting a drink. Oh, listen to that. Communicating, I presume, with the rest of the herd that are still feeding in the block south of where these elephants are currently drinking. This little bull's balancing up on the on that little cover there for the pump, where the pipes are that feed this reservoir. Oh, there's that sound. Incredible. So these two big cows here are the oldest cows in the herd, and they are busy communicating with the rest of the herd to catch up. They want to move on from the water here and get away from the bull. Yeah, Afe and Paul, it's myself and Birdman here. There's 3 animals busy drinking at the reservoir. You're welcome to make your way as a third. Copy. See how that elephant on the right is busy rocking on that front right foot. Probably a combination of resting the foot, but at the same time, look how the ears are slightly cocked forward. She's listening to other elephants. I can't hear anything, but of course so much of their communication is infrasonic, low frequency, and you probably find there's been a response from one of the other members of the herd, and she was just listening to that there. Waiting now. Waiting for the others in the herd. While she waits, she's going to keep those flies off of her. You'll also notice how she keeps flapping those ears, trying to cool herself down. This is unbelievable. So you can see there what Simon's done, everybody, is he's started to move back and give space to these 3. But at the same time also just warning the elephants, giving a bit of a rev with the engine, is just to let them know that, you know, they must not interfere with that vehicle. Giving them their space, but at the same time we don't want them, particularly the mothers here, these big cows, we don't want them getting very close to the vehicles. We don't want them in the vehicle. Simon's just warning them off to not too close. We don't want them learning bad behavior. you are adamant that you want to stay close to us. Okay, mommies, don't worry. Hey, don't touch my car. So these two big cows, everybody, are still waiting for the rest of the herd to catch up. That's why they're sticking around here. And all the while, this little calf obviously keeps getting closer and closer because of its inquisitive nature. So that's why I just rolled the vehicle back there a little bit, because the sound and movement of the vehicle, look at him trying to suckle now. The sound and movement would have moved him away from the vehicle without me actually having to start the vehicle. The one thing you must understand is these cows are not standing here, standing guard and being defensive towards the vehicles. They've picked the shade. Wow, look at the dust. Oh, this calf is having a big suckle here. So yeah, as I was saying, these cows are standing here specifically for the shade. That's why they came down here. That's why they wanted Simon to initially move his vehicle. They're waiting for the other members of the herd, and when they wait, they like to wait in the shade. It's pretty hot still this afternoon, so this is the biggest, shadiest spot right now while they rest here and wait for the other members. I don't know if this cow's getting any milk. Oh, sorry, this calf. Wow, what another incredible moment. So cool. Oh my word. These elephants are just amazing. I see Di has asked the question, if there were a smaller calf and no water at ground level, would the mum feed the calf water? Very likely, yes. But of course, if it's a very little calf, you must also remember that a lot of the water that it requires is in mom's milk. And of course, it would still be suckling. Look how the elephants are just reacting to something now. And it's not me, I assure you. Another elephant approaching. That's why they turned quickly and communicated like that. I can actually hear the other elephant approaching in the tree line just beyond them here. What are you eating? So we have an elephant approaching the reservoir here, and it is one of the other cows from the herd. So they've clearly responded to these two older cows calling them over. And looks like I might go and have a drink here before catching up with the rest of them here in the shade. No, man. Don't touch the car. It's amazing when an elephant's this close. You can actually see all the hairs on the entrance of the ear canal here. Incredible. You can actually hear the sound of the air being sucked through the nostrils of that cow's trunk as she put her trunk over the vehicle, just trying to smell us. What's also really nice is she flicked some of her snot, her saliva, onto my lap here, just as she did that. Lovely. Thanks, my dear. Incredible. So that cow that has come up from the rear is still drinking here, everybody. This is unbelievable. We just can't leave. I know we're meant to be trying to show everybody tracks and be tracking a rhino or whatever else, but I mean, how can we leave this? This has been one of the most incredible elephant sightings I've had here on the Rietspruit Game Reserve. So unbelievably relaxed as well. She's coming with a bit of swagger, this cow. Check at that, spraying water at us too. Okay girl, I'll make space for you. I could just tell by her body language, the way she was shaking her head as she came down here. There's another elephant coming out. That she wanted right of way here. Hey, I'm moving out your way, relax. So as I was saying, guys, completely different body language there, and that's why I chose to rather just get out of her way. Now that particular cow with her tusk turned down like that is one of the more aggressive elephants in the herd. And so I've learned from spending time with them that you usually get out of her way. Look at this scene. Just stunning. Drakensberg Mountains, sunset approaching, elephants in the foreground. How unbelievably spoilt are we? Just amazing. And looks like the bull's come to join the girls again. Let's see what happens here when he comes in here now. Right, everybody, you're not going to like this, but I think yeah, I can hear monkey's alarm calling, everybody. You know what that means. There's a leopard close by here. Right, everybody, I'm going to leave the amazing elephants. We've had such an amazing time with them, but a little bit earlier I did hear Nyala barking near the riverbed, and now I can hear monkey's alarm calling in that area. Here comes another elephant across the road here. Cheers, Birdman. What an absolutely incredible moment. guys. So, as I was saying, I can hear monkeys alarm calling not far from here near this riverbed, and I want to quickly get down there. I think there's a good chance there's a leopard on the move here. Hold on tight, Ashley. Look at this. Oh my god. The big elephant bull guys came to drink here and just decided, well, I might as well poo on top of this pile of bricks. That is ridiculous. Had to stop for that. Yeah. Can still hear the monkey's alarm calling up ahead here, everybody. Hold on tight. I like. Just making sure we're not passing whatever predator it is that's set off these monkeys here. I'm leaving Birdman with the herd of elephants. Here we go. Not far from here now where those monkeys are alarm calling. Unfortunately, this road ends just up ahead here, and I can't really get much closer to where those monkeys are. Okay, I'm just going to go a bit further up along the road here, just to the point where the road does end. Lion. There's a lion roaring back here, everybody. Hold on. I think that's what the monkeys saw. Probably not a leopard. Another road which cuts back towards where this lion's roaring. Just going to try get there quickly.
Okay, but can you just come and check if there's a lion coming down this south or
Okay, I'll cover that now.
I'm also in the area, I'm very close to where that lion's vocalizing. I'm following up.
Okay, thanks, Gareth.
Sounds like there are a whole bunch of vehicles in the area here. Obviously a lot of folks were interested in the elephants and they've come down this way. And of course we want to be the ones that find this lion. Okay, we must be pretty close to where it was now. So it's this lion's walked past those monkeys, and my guess is he's come up somewhere here.
He's come back.
They often come and lie down. There's a big open patch just up ahead here where these lions like to lay down. Nothing yet.
Is anyone with the line sighting at the bit? Oh, it was overlooked. How near is it where the line comes towards the fence line?
Okay, I don't see any tracks here, everybody.
Yeah, from the side.
Come on, Jackal. Behave yourself. Just going to quickly pop up to the road here, the main road, and just see if we don't see this animal along the main drag here.
You check that one. Copy, thanks. Now you just go down here a little bit from the fence until you get to the first track to the right. There in that finish line there. Thank you. Basically opposite the track that comes down from Rietspruit to the Boma. Again? You're in the crossroad where you've got Lowveld and then on your left.
Okay, so folks, haven't seen any tracks of this lion, but it's somewhere around here where I heard that roaring. So I'm just waiting here. We've got a pretty good view, sort of 180 here. If he does come out of the tree line towards this road, we'll see him from here. But also just waiting to see if we don't hear him roaring again. where we stopped originally, where the monkeys were alarm calling, we were pretty close to those monkeys. You'll remember it was kind of off to our right. I got out the vehicle and I was listing in that direction, and then the lion started roaring up this end. So I think that lion's come from the south past the monkeys, heading north. So I think he's coming through here. He's going to come out somewhere here, possibly heading up towards the next water reservoir, which is up the road here. Sandy for Gareth. What is your position?
South of Seskan Cricket after an open area.
Okay, copy. I haven't found him yet. I don't know if he's crossed Seskan Putt, but he wasn't. I haven't found any signs where I heard him vocalizing. I'm just south of you.
See, Mr. Station calling in saying that they've seen him. Maybe they can just tell us where.
Have any of the stations located the male lions that were vocalizing? I don't think so. Alright, come on, male lion, we need you to roar for us. Right, everybody, I'm going back in. From where those monkeys were, they're quite a distance from here, everybody. And they obviously saw this lion before he started roaring. So we may have gone past him. He might have still been coming up from the riverbed where the monkeys were. I'm just going to go back slowly along here. I do know that one of the other homeowners is just currently switched off a little bit further up ahead of us here. So they'll let me know if they hear that lion roaring again.
Sandy, we've got one of the males here just south of Seskan Creek.
sitting beside the road. Copy that. Thanks, Gareth. Did you copy that?
I copy that, thanks. I'd also like to make my way there. I'm about 5 out. Great news, everybody. Somebody has just bumped into a male lion at the waterhole I was just talking about, a bit further up the road there. I'm not convinced it's the one we heard roaring, however, because that's quite a distance from where these monkeys were alarm calling and where I thought that roaring was coming from, which was somewhere here. So they might just be talking to each other. The male lions, I think, might be split up at the moment. That vehicle that's just bumped into that male lion says they've only got one there. Now, just before I forget again, everybody, for those of you who are interested in getting your hands on the high resolution image of mine, a photograph of a rhino that I took some years back, the keyword for this week is prehistoric. If you want to try get your hands on that high-res image, just get in contact with us. Keyword being prehistoric.
Good afternoon, station. Bruce going mobile and Edward. Bruce, I think there's 6-7 on Lowveld. The male line just up, just cut further south. Long just cutting around, wondering if or on the side or...
No. I didn't see him and I didn't see any tracks either. Alright folks, we're going to head up to the male that has been located. What is that crossing the road there? Ah. Our friend the Dacre. I just spotted a leopard. Still love you though, Dacre. Man, what an exciting afternoon. This game reserve very rarely disappoints. I suspect that lion we heard roaring here isn't on the move. Might just be lying down, roaring close by to where those monkeys were alarm calling at it. They can be quite lazy before they eventually get up and go, and he's probably just trying to get his brother to come closer to him. I reckon he's still lying down somewhere back in here. Maybe in the riverbed would be my guess, or very close to the riverbed. Particularly if it's the injured male, of course. He gets up really slowly at the moment because of that. Oh, here we go, he's roaring right now. brothers with him. You can hear the second one roaring now, everybody. What a sound. Jeez, I love that sound. Incredible. Right. Now, I think they might be in the riverbed, these males. Let's see if we can find a way in here.
Mission in charge for Madodangala on this cut. I'll like to respond in the next 3-4 minutes.
Come in, there's plenty of space here in the open.
I want to come out.
Somewhere down here is where they were roaring. I don't know if we're going to be able to get through here though. But we will try. Just watch yourself there, Ashley. Oh wow, there's a line there, right there. Just through the gap there, Ashley. And they don't even know that I'm here yet. One of those male lions is just sleeping up there on the bank. Jackpot. Right, we've got to find a way through here. And I think I've found a way. It's going to be bumpy. What an exciting moment again, guys. They're sleeping just up here. Okay, come on, Jackal. You can do it. See where that line walked through here. And you see the wet sand down there. That's where one of them urinated, right there. Yeah, that wet patch right there. Okay, hold on tight, Ashley. Hold on. I like. Okay, so we've got through the massive crater. Now for our next trick. Okay, we're going to have to come out pretty close to where these lions are sleeping. There's no other way. Actually, you're going to have to shift right over to the right here. Go. Hello, big boy. Incredible. Now, where's your brother? We know he's here somewhere with you. You were both roaring. Man, that is so impressive. My goodness. Oh, there's his brother. He's just rolled over at the back beyond the gori trees there. Just through that gap there. You can see his brother's lying up there. I think this male closest to us, everybody's about to get up. Busy grooming himself, busy yawning. Maybe not. Carol, is Ashley still on board? Yeah, she is. She did well.
It's like a roller coaster.
It was a roller coaster getting up here, that's for sure.
I'm leaving the look of a flight.
And yes, wide-eyed, these male lions are not disturbed by us at all. It's amazing. And we had to crash through all those trees to get up here, make all that noise, and then obviously come out through the trees here, right next to this male lion, and he literally couldn't care less. Just such a privilege having such habituated wild lions in our presence like this. I've located the other two male lions directly west of Seskanpad and the junction Seskant-Bultpad. They are on the other side of the little drainage line that runs between Seskanpad and the Deep Slit. They're just on the western side of that drainage line. Betty asked the question, is that the injured one? No, I think the injured male is the one that the other vehicle bumped into up near the waterhole. These two are the fit males that have formed a very strong bond recently, and I think have been bullying the third male, the injured male. Right, everybody, I'm just going to reposition the vehicle here again. Just try to get above this male. Now we can actually see both males. Hello Shanine, lovely to have you with us. Sorry you were on the wrong chat. Just popped his head up here. He's heard something behind him. There you go, guys. We certainly didn't get to physically track the big game this afternoon, but we have certainly been very successful with the elephants and these amazing male lions. And so exciting, you know, finding these lions, all thanks to, you know, the monkeys initially and then their roaring. Some very exciting off-roading to get to this point. What a pleasure. Pretty damn good afternoon in my books. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, hey Ashley? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Look at those beautiful pads under his paws. So we thought they might have been roaring whilst they were still lying down, everybody, and that clearly is evident now, having found them. And what I can also tell you now, having got to where these lions are sleeping, in comparison to where those monkeys were alarm calling, those monkeys definitely didn't see these lions. It was just a coincidence. There's a leopard there where those monkeys are. And might even be the reason why these lions started roaring in the first place. I've often seen male lions do that. They react. If they hear monkeys alarm calling, they start roaring. And that's because they know that the monkeys may have spotted another predator. And if it's another lion, these males want to let that other lion know that the monkeys were alarm calling at, that they're here. Now we know, of course, that it's about 99% chance that it was a leopard, because we know where their brother is. He's a bit behind us now at that waterhole. and I know where the Pride is right now. They're in the southeast of the reserve. So the only two things that it could have been that set off those monkeys would have been cheetah or leopard. And because of the terrain and habitat of where those monkeys are in that dry riverbed, I'd bet my yearly salary on it that it's a leopard that's walked past those monkeys. And when it did, the monkeys started sounding the alarm, and then these male lions roared in response. So we were pretty close to a leopard this evening as well. But so stoked that we managed to find these lions and get to these lions. We almost got stuck in that drainage line back there. But the jackal did well. Shanine's asking where the brother is. About 700 yards behind us, due north of us, close to one of the small little concrete water holes. One of the other homeowners from Leadwood just bumped into that injured male lion there. Di, it's honestly my pleasure, and it is definitely not a sacrifice. I live for this. This has been my passion since I was a little boy. And now that it's, my career, my job, I am honestly just so privileged and so grateful that I get to do what I love on a daily basis. And if I would continue doing this till the day I die. There's honestly nothing on earth I'd rather be doing than tracking down big game out in the bush. Shannon, to answer your question about the injured male lion, he's still hobbling along, still eating, still drinking, still keeping up with his brothers. We've seen him recently, we've seen all three together recently, and all three of them have recently fed on a giraffe. About 5 days ago now, they were still feeding on a fully grown adult cow. Big giraffe that they fed on, so lots of food. So he's doing just fine. I mean, the injury doesn't seem to be improving too much, which is concerning. But we all just hope that he'll make it. And he has the best chance, as long as he avoids further conflict with his brothers here and keeps eating and drinking. There's a good chance he can recover. Just see this male lion's ears twitching right now. Might be listening to something. But yeah, no major improvement in the atrophy in his back left leg. Or hasn't come back yet. See, Betty's put out the statement there, don't you wish you could treat him? Don't get me wrong, you know, I never want to see animals suffering. But the reality is, that is a male lion's reality. They live a very harsh existence, battling for their space, their right, their dominance constantly. And it is a very natural thing to see them pick up these injuries and for them to die from said injuries. It's just the way it works out here. And we as human beings try to intervene as very little as possible. Unless it is, of course, something that was caused by man or a critically endangered species, we then do intervene. But when it's of natural causes, for the most part, we let nature take its course. Oh, their brother's roaring. Listen to that, get ready. These two males might respond. Or not. Not interested. They know that he'll catch up eventually. Now you probably find the reason they're not responding right now is because they have already roared, and it also takes quite a bit of energy for them to roar, so they don't want to expend too much energy, and they will respond to their brother if they started moving. But the fact that they haven't moved is why they're probably not responding right now. Guys put up a comment saying it always amazes her that wild animals will accept another back into their circle after necessary human intervention, treatment or relocation. Do you ever see them pushed out? No, I don't think so. And it is amazing that they accept them. But no, I don't know of... Oh, I think he's going to roar. Oh my God, it just never gets old. I cannot describe it to you guys. The feelings you get when you sit this close to these male lions roaring like this. Man, it is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Gonna go say hello to his brother. I might even then set off for the night on their patrol. Very nice of him, however, to let his injured brother back there know where they are. You can see that close bond between these two males rubbing up against each other there, reaffirming bonds. There you go, their brother's responding now. And flop. They're like, yes, 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 we can hear you. Best you catch up. What an exceptional afternoon, everybody. I think we are going to wrap things up here tonight. This has just been the most perfect afternoon. And I've absolutely loved every single moment. What a special day. And just so wonderful sharing it with all of you, everybody. Thank you so much again for joining us on the first of the big tracking safaris with me and with Ashley. Thanks, Ash. Well held on today. Very, very exciting afternoon. But yeah, thanks everybody. That was a good one. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a brilliant day.